I think the easiest way of doing that is the quarterback. If you picture, the LA Rams who just won the Super Bowl, I think a big hurdle that they needed to create that momentum and get over their stuff is having a new quarterback, a new leader, a new captain at the helm, and they got one. And that's an explosive spark of energy. And for them, they already had momentum. That train was already going. It might have been slowing down, but it wasn't at full steam. But once they got that piece, I mean, that was to take it to a level they've never been. And so this is about equipping people to lead. I think the easiest person to equip to lead is the quarterback, because they have to do so much. So to give you an idea about the quarterbacks that have been at Ferris State in the last 10 years, okay, we've had 3 Harlan Hill winners. So that's the D2 Heisman, best player in the country, 3 times has been a Ferris State quarterback. Every quarterback that ever started at Ferris State has had a 5 touchdown game. We've had a lot of dudes that are not quite as skilled as the guy that you've been watching through these presentations or the other dude, and to have 5 touchdown games is pretty incredible. We've had six quarterback seasons where there was 20 plus rushing touchdowns. 4 times they're the conference player of the year. This year, our quarterback looked like this. We had 3 different quarterbacks that had 6 touchdown games. We had several injuries with the quarterback, so it was constantly cycling through. Our number 12, Jared Bernhardt, set the single season rushing touchdown record for Division II with 26 rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. And he led all divisions, Division I, FBS, FCS, D2, and Division III in rushing touchdowns this year. We talk about that momentum. I think during that week, I was afraid I kind of focused on stats and was kind of a numbers guy and game planning and making sure that coach knows of any and all things going into the game, whether it be where the restrooms are or, all the kind of the outside the box numbers or thoughts. And that was one I told him, and he was like, okay. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay, should we tell him? He's like, he might, we don't want to psych him out. So I think an offensive lineman told him at halftime, and he just shrugged it off. But, another impressive thing is our backup quarterback broke the school record for passing yards in the game. And if our quarterbacks, if all 3 of them were the same person, the Ferris State quarterback would have had 3,050 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1,788 rushing yards, and 38 rushing touchdowns. I think if it were one person, that would be some all-time season. That's Barry Sanders rushing touchdowns plus 30 passing. And if you're going to really have your quarterback lead your offense, you have to put down your insecurities and your vulnerabilities about entrusting, this guy to lead. And especially everybody should be a leader on your team, because the more leaders you have, the more that they know when to be a follower and when to take the lead. So you can really do that by giving everybody a role on your team and in your program. Find the capacity and the capabilities of your team to entrust those who can handle your mental load to be leaders. I think that's a great thing to think about. Who can handle your mental load? And those are the guys you need to work and groom to be leaders. A good quarterback handles the coach's mental load. A bad quarterback, that's just where you're like, oh my gosh, this guy has no clue what's going on. And that's where you can really struggle. So a good quarterback handles the coach's mental load as well as anybody within your program.